Good morning, everybody. It's 8:30 a.m., November 8th, 2022. It's not much happened yesterday, really. I mean, we broke out a little bit, broke some key levels with low volume. Let's look at the markets real quick. We got the VIX up zero point 0.7. Midterm elections is today, so Nasdaq up 0.45, Dow up 0.27, the dollar's up, Ruddy's up 0.26, ES up 0.24. And we have crudes down 0.33. The TNX is down. Bitcoin's down 5%. This FTX thing took them down. And let's look at some of the stocks. Look at that. Nvidia is up 3% pre-market. AMD's up 1.6. The laggards, Tesla just got some recalls they're talking about, so they're falling pretty hard, down 1.11%. BABA with China reporting of doubling of cases in one of the largest supplier of the iPhone in China. Coin with the Bitcoin thing down 2.23%. No surprise, Qualcomm is one of the it's not up as much as AMD and Nvidia, but it's up. Disney's reporting earnings today after the bell. Let's see, the only really negative one is Roblox. Sectors, semiconductors up 1.24%, no surprise there. Technology 0.54, and the only negative sector really is, well, that just went away. It was going to be communications, but that's what we got going on that front. Let's go in what happened yesterday to the SPY daily chart. Get my trusty marker tool. Okay. I don't even know if I need the marker tool for this. So we're continuing this little uptrend, making higher lows. We found resistance around this 380 level, and it cracked this level a little bit. It actually closed above the 50-day moving average and 9 daily EMA. Okay, so you can see from this move to this move, I drew a fib. We found support at 50% retracement, and now we're moving higher. So we'll have to see. Let's look at the Qs. Obviously the weakest. The Qs. The Qs now still under the 9 daily EMA, still under the 20-day moving average, still under the 50, so a lot weaker. Okay. Understandable with tech. So we have to see what that does. I mean, it kind of made a new high, found resistance at this old support level. Okay, broke it a little bit, but you can call that resistance. All right, let's look at the triple-headed monster. 10-year yield is just in a range. We got midterm elections today, so it's in a range. Okay, CPI on Thursday, we're just chilling in a range. We're higher. We move from this range to this range, so that's a move higher. Let's look at the dollar. The dollar's been getting crushed, but now today finally it's caught a tiny bit of a bid. Okay, let's look at that VIX. VIX is just in a downtrend. Okay, we're underneath this support, which came resistance level. The VIX is up today, but slightly, 0.62%. Midterm elections and CPI headed our way. And just to see, the Dow is, I drew a fib from this move to the highs. Notice they came above the 200, dropped below the 200, came all the way down here, and look at that. The Dow's heading towards this high it made already. Pretty crazy. That just shows you the strength of the non-tech kind of market. It's kind of nuts. Okay. All right. Let's go over to some market profile. All right. So let's look at the ES. All right. So we broke that key level yesterday that I was talking about in pre-market. But however, it was just a weird day. We kind of like balanced down here, then finally broke that level. Just a kind of a weird day. All right, then we broke it with kind of like low volume, and I wasn't really interested in that. And now we're at 38.24. We're in a tiny gap up. So this is yesterday's high. This is yesterday's low. Okay. Here's our overnight high on an overnight low. Price being right here, this dot. Okay. We're a slight gap up. Now remember, midterm elections is today. I don't know what can possibly happen today. People are expecting the Republican Party to take over the House and the Senate, which would cause gridlock, which is good, bullish for the markets. Okay. If we have a Republican Senate and Congress, the House, right, Democratic president, you can't get much done. The market likes that. So that should be bullish. Okay, if that happens tonight. All right, so I don't know how much we're gonna get movement today, and plus we have CPI on Thursday. We could. It's not like we can't. So I'm just keeping that in the back of my head, and everybody should keep that in the back of their head. Okay, let's look at the profile, the composite. Okay, we're staying above this most traded price of the week and most traded price of the month. Okay, what I can see happening is if we hold up here, this could has a candidate to move this higher than most traded price of the week, as well as this right here, this volume. So I do anticipate if we hold here, and if we don't go higher and we kind of hold here, this probably is going to move up. Okay, which would be bullish. So slight gap up higher. Moved above this high volume node yesterday. Moved above the 9 daily EMA and the 50 EMA. I mean the 50 simple moving average. So all bullish for right now. Okay. Let's look at the NASDAQ. I'll make this a little bigger here. Okay. So in the overnight, and you'll notice this right off the bat, right? The most traded price of the month, 11,100. This range, the the overnight has already touched it, and this yellow line is a 9 EMA on the daily chart. So if we can get above this, that is bullish, and hold it. Okay, the most traded price of the month in the Nasdaq, very very important level that we're getting to now. Very important level. Very curious what happens. This is a very big wall. It's going to be hard to churn through, but with strong volume on the open, we could break it, but then you really have to see if you accept above it or below it. So it's a very important level. Like I said, midterm elections are today, so we have to see. Now, the NASDAQ right now is strong, stronger than the ES. Okay, so let's look at the highs from yesterday. Look at the lows from yesterday. Let's look at the high of the overnight and the low of the overnight. And prices right here at the highs of the session. We're at 110.81. Okay, we're gapping higher. So we have a gap. And we have a huge, huge level here. And that's just a bull bear line. That's a big one for the market for the rest of the year. This level, okay? So, gap hires are tough to deal with, tough to read. However, however, this is going to help us out. Okay, this is going to give us all the information we need. This level, okay. So I'll get more into that into the 60-minute futures chart. Let's look at this quick longer term chart. I kind of beefed up my monthly profile, weekly profile chart. I made it so this is a little more easier to see. So just to go over really quickly, this is the ES. Every outline like these is a monthly profile, with the hot pink line being the most traded price of the month. Every blue profile is for the week, with every white being the most traded price of that week. Okay, this is the monthly VWAP. Okay, that line's the monthly VWAP. Every candlestick is 4 hours. And the right, I have a composite profile. The white one is for 2022. The heat map is for the last year, all the way back to November 8th, 2021. Just to give everybody a quick recap of that. Okay, so now I'm hoping everybody can see this a little better. These levels. Okay, so where's price now, right? 38.28. So we're right here. Okay, so now this month's most traded price is 38.67. Now that just means this month, right? When I talk about most traded price of the month, just to give clarification, when I show you the market profile charts, that's just giving you a month back from that day. It's not the month that we're currently in. It's the month. It's 30 days. 30 days, the last 30 days. This chart shows the active month. Okay, this shows the active week. Just like when I say the most traded price of the week, it's really the most traded price of the last week, not the current week. It's the last 5 days. Just a good clarification. This still is good once the week is over and once the month's over. Okay, this is still, these levels are still great because they are now the most traded price of the week and the month when it's in the past. Just give them clarification on that. So price is here. Okay, the big level really is this 39.47 level here above us. So right here could be a target for us to go higher. Okay, just showing you guys a new chart. Hopefully it looks looks better. It looks easier on the eyes. Price is right at 110.82 right here. Okay, you can see here last month's traded price 110.95. That was the most traded price. And that lines right up with the 11,100 basically right here. That's that big level we need to get across. If you get across it, you're looking at probably this node here, which is the most traded price of a couple weeks ago, 114.91. All right, hopefully this looks a little easier on the eyes. Okay, Then we have an ultimate level up here, which is now the most traded price of the year and the last year, which is 121.27. That is a monster level. Get above that, Santa Claus. But that's in the future. Okay. All right. That's it for that. Hopefully that chart looks easier on the eyes for everybody. And let's move into the 60-minute futures chart. Let's all right. So just a review from yesterday, I said that we needed to hold over this high volume node. We did, and break the 3805 resistance level, and we did. Okay. We did come in the overnight and came down and tested this level, but then we bounced. Now 3821 was just a key level from the past. Okay, now we're holding above that level. That's bullish. Okay. Now you can see above us we have another high volume node here, and this is a supply zone right here, as well as another high volume node area in the red box, and the most traded price. That might be an old level. Forget about that. But this doesn't matter. This level right here, call it 3877, 3876. Okay, key level. Okay, that's why the orange high volume node is. So I don't know what we can do today, but those are levels to look for today. I do believe if we do catch a bid, we could go here, and if it's really strong, we could go here, which I'm not saying we do, but those are destinations. Okay. So the one thing I will mark off right now, and this probably will get broken maybe off the open, but there obviously is resistance right here in the overnight, and it's creeping towards breaking that. So I'm not holding my breath on that level, but that's what we're looking at. Okay. You don't want the ES to fall below that node, this high volume right here. If we break that, that's bearish. Okay. Alrighty. So let's go to the NASDAQ. Okay, the NASDAQ, here we go. Here's that level, 11,100. That's the big level. Okay, this is going to move this SPY, ES. If we break this level, this is going to be a game changer right here. It's all we need to be worried about today for both markets. We can kick and hold above this, everything's going higher. If we can't, if we keep finding resistance, now we could bounce here, but we also could just fade back and then wait for midterm elections or whatever. Just a huge level. I mean, there's not much to say other than that. Okay, and the 9-day daily EMA is acting as resistance as well. That's that yellow. We just really need to punch through it. Okay, and you can see here, this is the FOMC right here. Right here, this area is the FOMC, and that's that move down. See, we're already starting to work into the FOMC down move. Okay, so if we pop above here, we could do that. Very key. Yes, there's a support at 110.34. Okay. And it broke a very key level yesterday, 109.87. This was resistance here, 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 and it finally broke it. Just like the ES, we came back under it and then found caught a bid, and now we're moving higher. Okay, really important if we can hold over this level. Okay, now let's move on to the market profile. I'm gonna put this level now on this chart. Let's see here. All right, let's move over to the micro profile charts. Just want to show everybody really quickly the relative volume. This is very important to look at. I don't show it every day, but just to give you an example, this is the relative volume for every 5 minute period in the ES. It's only at 62% of its normal volume during this time. 73% in NASDAQ. Crude is at 96. So not crude's getting more volume, right, relative to its average. These are low. Hence why I don't know how much big moves. Doesn't mean big moves can't happen, but it just gives you a perspective of people are waiting for the midterm elections and CPI. This is not very high volume. It's low. Okay, just wanted to give you that perspective. Let's move on to the market profile. Okay, so let me put this here. Okay, let's look at what could happen today. We're now in the ES, we're gapping higher. Price is right here, 38.29. Okay, so we have a gap higher. Gaps are always hard to read. All right, I'll be the first to tell you they're hard to read. So first, what we have to see in a gap is how strong it is. How strong the gap is. How do we determine that? It's the gap fill, which would be yesterday's high. Okay, so how you determine that is, do we fill it and bounce? Do we gap and go? Do we not even fill it and go? Or do we fill it and break, right? That gives you right there information of how strong the buyers are. That's how you have to look at when you're gapping higher. Obviously, the gap and go is the strongest, right? But as long as we fill and bounce, or if we don't fill it, that's bullish, right? But if obviously we fill it and break, then the buyers, don't have a lot of traction. So I tend to want to wait on gaps, all right, and look at how the underpinnings of the market, if they're strong or not. Okay. So one scenario I can see definitely happening in this market, I could see us pushing higher, coming back, fill the gap and bounce, and come up right to this level, which is an old naked VPOC, which just means it's an old most traded price of the day that has never been tagged before. Okay, that level, for everybody wants to know, is 38.48. 38.48. Okay, obviously let's take the other side of this. I also think we can move up, fill the gap, try to bounce. Okay, come down here, and I think we can balance here. Even come down here and balance. One of those. All right. The most bearish thing I could see happening is if we move up, come down to the gap, fill it, right? And let's just say we do balance, do this, balance, but then if we fall below this level, we're going down to yesterday's lows. And at least to this demand zone on the 20 moving average right here. Okay. Potential always to always fall further, but I would say that would be the most bearish scenario. This level is pretty important. Okay. This is the line in the sand. Now in the NASDAQ, I keep talking about that one level, so that's really what we need to concentrate on today. Okay, that's really what we need to concentrate on. So let's get a color here. So if we're going to be bullish, we're gapping higher too. Remember, this level is a monster. You got the 9 daily EMA, but it's the most traded price of the month. This is everything today. So if we even open, it doesn't even matter, and if we manage to pop above it, and when I say you have to accept it, you need to hold above this level. The more we hold above it, it's bullish, and we possibly could take a move up higher. Okay, this is the 20 simple moving average on the daily. That we could hit that and fall, but we can hit that and go above to this supply zone up here. Okay, and that level is 112.32. Okay, now if we come into the level, and remember, this is going to be hard to cut through, and we pop above it, can't hold it, pop below it, hold below it, you have more tendency that if we hold below it, we're going to start to go back down. And we could go back down and test these overnight lows. And we could bounce, right? Or we could come down here and balance. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. This level's so important because if we hold above it and move higher, ES, the SPY, is going higher. It's going to bring everything with it. That's how important this level is, okay? This is everything to me today. This level. 11,100, this area. It depends. If we hold above it, I want to be bullish. We hold below it, I'm going to look for a fade. I'm going to look for a short in the ES. All right, but the market will guide me with the internals, what I'm looking at to see, are we weak? Are we strong? Right now, obviously, we're gapping up. But like I said, it's all about, do we gap fill? Do we not gap? Can we not fill the gap? Do we gap and go? All right, but this level is going to make my decisions for me in both markets. All right. All right, guys. That is it for today. I wish everybody good luck. Give me a like. Hopefully, if anybody has any questions, leave me a comment. Subscribe if you haven't already. Let's do this tomorrow. Hope everybody has a green day. Remember, there's midterm elections today, so I don't know how much this market has in it until the results come in more later tonight, and maybe the futures in the nighttime is the place to trade, make a trade. Maybe. That is what an election, presidential election. That's huge. A lot of people trade futures at night when you get the results. So I don't know, but definitely, if there's gridlock, if the Republicans take the House and the Senate, this market's going higher for the time being until CPI comes out. Okay. All right, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow.